Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to another edition of Putting It Back on the Table, a Renee James production. Family, it's time to fasten those seatbelts for a thrilling adventure of home cooking, featuring culinary instructor Derek J. Snyder. I'm your host, D. Schneid, and tonight the table presents...
Green pea puree Italiano Part 1, the introduction.
Hello, YouTube land. Today is green pea puree Italiano. This is a great little item to have around to incorporate into your diet due to its versatility. Found in many different flavors and textures, such as mashed with some onions, blitzed with some cream and mint, make a pesto with some nuts and cheese. You can whip it smooth for the most purest of tastes, or add some garlic and olive oil as we're doing today. Any one of these will make a wonderful little companion to any meal. But before we get started, let's talk about the pea for a moment. It's a fruit since it bears the seed developed from a flower. They've been eaten for over 5,000 years and saved many people in the Middle Ages from starving since they are easy to grow. They are rich in protein and are being used in place of soy and other protein powders that have been found to be toxic. It has an anti-aging property and prevents wrinkles. It's great for the immune system and helps boost your energy. It's been found to be a great fighter of Alzheimer's and arthritis and osteoporosis. Needless to say, it's great for the bones. For those of us getting up on our years, it helps regulate blood sugar and is a preventer of heart disease and bad cholesterol. And as most of you Canucks know, Canada is the world's largest producer of... I could go on all day about the wonderful properties and benefits of green peas as an addition to your regular diet, but I'm afraid if I do, I'll never get rid of those mangy dogs lurking in the back alleyway. Scram, boys! They'll be the death of me one day. Enough of my jibber-jabbering, let's get started, shall we?
Green pea puree Italiano Part 2, the ingredients list. Green pea puree Italiano Part 3, the preparation.
What I'm calling the Italiano way, simply because I learned it from an Italian chef, has raw garlic and olive oil in it. We will need to chop up the garlic to a mince. This will make it easy to break down in the blender. But before we do that, we need to blanch our peas. No matter which version you're doing, whether it be the cream and mint or as a pesto, or if you're just going to whip it up as baby food, this is always the first thing you do. Fill up a pot with water and add some salt and bring it to a boil. Then add your peas. The salt is not going to season them much, as most of it is going to dissolve into the water, but this will keep them a nice green color. You'll notice that all the peas will sink to the bottom. When they all come to the surface and start to dance around, it's time to strain them out. Run some cold water over them to stop them from cooking. If you're making this for baby food, don't put any salt in the water at the start and keep about a quarter cup of this water when you strain it. Now put them into your blender with the garlic or 1 to 2 leaves of mint if you're doing that version, and about 1/8 of a cup of the olive oil or the cream or the blanched water to start. Put the lid on but vent the top to let out the steam, unless you like scraping it off the ceiling. I've had to do that before. Now spin it on high. Add the rest of your liquid a little at a time until the puree starts to turn in the blender at this consistency. Now taste it and see if you need to add any salt or pepper or any other kind of spice or seasoning you want to put in it, and then blend it a little more to make sure that it's nice and consistent all the way through. And that's it. If you like it more fluent, then add a little more liquid. It's all up to you and what you plan on doing with it.
Green pea puree Italiano Part 4, the cooking.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the blanching was the cooking, so why don't we just move on to part 5, okay?
Green pea puree Italiano Part 5, time to eat.
Family, the next time you're bored with the same old thing, try using this goodness of God's green earth to flavor some risotto or as the basis of split pea soup. Drop a dollop on the plate and use it to seed a sea scallop with some garlic browned butter. You can use it in replace of mashed potatoes if you're trying to reduce your starch intake. Mix it with some mashed cauliflower and you've got a side dish to write home about. And of course, let's not forget about the little ones. Pea puree is a great, healthy, delicious way to get some vitamins and minerals they all need. I just love green pea puree. Have since I was a little boy. I can remember sitting in my high chair while my mother would make train sounds and she would approach my mouth with a spoonful of that positively perfect puree. Choo-choo, she would say, better open up or the train will crash. I was a very defiant baby. That train crashed a lot. The plane never seemed to have any problems. Sometimes you just have to try a few different ways until you get it right. Anyway, I'm Dee Schneid, and I would like to thank you for partaking in yet another edition of Putting It Back on the Table. Goodbye, YouTube land.